How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Farmmi, which ended up having a green day on the Friday. People have been sending me messages, hey, Dre, we need to get an update. What do you see happening for Monday and as well as for the coming week? So we're going to talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know those key levels in a bullish case scenario and as well as in a bearish case scenario. And this is from our short-term traders and as well as my investors as well. I know many of you watch this channel. You're always saying, well, you know what? You should be holding this stock. Why you guys keep trading it? So I got you covered. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information and as well as the recent institutional ownership. The reason why the short interest is important because it will have an impact on the way this stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the Friday. This is key because we want to look forward to seeing a potential spike for this coming week. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Farmmi. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So ended up closing at 36 cents, being up 0.92%. On the low, it tested 34 cents, and then on the high, testing 38 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 114.041 million shares, and for the average volume over 10 trading days, being at 151.392 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we still ended up seeing some strength in the stock. When we take a look at our chart, which is the 1-year daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right at 54.65. And then when we take a look at what's happening with our moving averages, we are below the 200-day. We're also below the 100-day, but we do seem to have some strength above the 21-day EMA and as well as the 50-day. So this is definitely a great sign for Farmmi. So what I want to see, yes, we did end up seeing a high of 38 cents, and it's not to my surprise here that this is resistance at the 100-day. So if we can pass the 100-day, and you see this happen before already, we can look forward to seeing a move getting into that 40-cent level. This would be a great area for Farmmi to get into, because if we can get into the 40-cent range, then the next level to keep an eye on, we see that move going to around 45 cents. And passing 45 cents, we can easily start making a very strong move up and then getting to around the 50s. So that's why I say you want to keep this play on your radar. If we do decide to have a pullback, and again, this is for people that choose to hold the stock, I do not hold the stock personally, then you can look at positions that are in the low 30 range. So whether it be at 30 cents or even when it pulled back to here to around the 28-cent level, it's done a fairly decent job holding these areas up. So if you're just going to be getting into a position to hold, I would look for that pullback. But for the most part, as far as for traders are concerned, hey, there is some moves in regards to a 5-cent move or a 4-cent move, and then possibly seeing another move further up, you decide to hold your position longer. So let's see how Farmmi performs for the coming week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Farmmi. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see the most recent filing. I know we've covered the others already. For October the 26th, we had Fidelity NASDAQ Composite Index Fund that purchased just over 104,000 shares. And then when we take a look at the short interest, we have the dark pool short volume ratio at 54.06%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 39.8 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 17 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 6.78%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of October the 28th, it was at at 47.78, and this was on the Thursday. And then for the Friday that just passed, it was as high as 54.06. So what this tells us right away, Farmmi does have short squeeze potential. It also does notify us that there's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock. But if we have buying pressure coming into the play, this is where we can look forward to seeing some really strong moves to the upside, and it's one of the reasons why I want you guys to keep this on your radar. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Farmmi. So we can see here on the inflow, it was 9,129, and then on the outflow side, it was 10,887. When we take a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 1,555. Then on the medium, it was 5,553. And then on the small, it was 2,021. When we take a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 1,871. And then on the medium, it was 6,411. And then on the small, it was 2,605. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for October the 29th, which was a Friday that just passed, being that outflow of 316.16. So when we analyze these numbers, there was a lot of selling. We could see clearly as far as for the retail side, there was more selling that was going on, but we still had some buying. We also noticed this on the medium side. And as far as for the large scale orders, which potentially could be institutions, we saw a lot more selling as compared to inflows, but there's still demand. There are still people who are purchasing shares. And I know what you're saying. So Dre, why would the stock have a green day if there was mostly selling that was going on? So now we're going to actually be taking a look at the turnover ratio, and I will answer that. So as far as for the turnover, it was at 40.34%. So this is fairly high, and this tells us that there's a lot of traders going in and out of this play, and it's part of the reasons why I've been bringing this to your attention, because I know many of you have been able to make some good money on this. But another thing to be clear about, there are many who are holding shares, and that's part of the reasons why we had a green day. We had the inflow, and then you combine that with people who are holding, then of course you're going to see some strength inside of the stock. And also do keep in mind, it hasn't been moving that much, so we have some buying that is happening. So you want to make sure you keep this on your radar and look out for that strong pop when it does occur, like we saw on the Friday, and it did pull back a little bit. So again, we want to see some improvements for this coming week. So let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Farmmi, I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated and keep this play on my watch list. We saw that it showed some strength on the Friday, even though it dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. So even though we do know that there's a lot of traders in the play, we also do know there are many who are holding their positions as well, and it's part of the reasons why we had that outcome. So if you're thinking about getting in with an entry, I get this question all the time. Personally, myself, I like Farmmi when it's in the low 30-cent range, and I'm talking about 30, 31, and if it pulls back around 29, 28, it seems more attractive to me, and that's just my personal opinion. I would not be starting a position in the mid 30 levels or even close to 40 cents. Again, I do not see much upside there as far as for an intraday trade. I want to make sure I'm being very clear. Now, as far as areas of resistance is concerned, is what I just said. So if it's able to actually break through 39 cents, make that move above 40, then I want to see some momentum continue, because if we have volume coming into the stock, then I can see this play easily getting to around 50 cents and then moving up further from there. But so far we haven't been getting that volume that we have been looking for. But again, if it continues to consolidate and so forth and build up, there's nothing wrong with that, because that makes the move much sweeter when it does decide to make that move we are looking for. And also when we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. Many shorts are inside of this play. So what this tells us, yeah, the market sentiment is fairly negative, but the moment you have volume coming in, this stock can really start taking off, because shorts would have to cover their positions. Of course, I can't give you an exact date when this short squeeze will occur, or even if it occurs anyways, but one thing that I do know for a fact, you can make money off of this play if you trade wisely and you wait for the right setup, and also not just buying in blindly. Have a game plan, have a strategy. Many have been taking advantage of this, finding value inside of the video, and have been trading it quite well. So let's see how Farmmi performs on Monday and as well as for the rest of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.